Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to use an inner tie rod tool to remove your tie rod and also to use this to install a new one. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the tool right here. So you have this U-bolt here, and then you have this grip. And basically what this does is this connects to the ball and socket joint of the inner tie rod, which is connected to the steering rack. And you're going to put this around that joint, tighten it down, get a grip on it, and then you can put a breaker bar in here to then loosen it. And then when you're putting a new one on, you would use the same method, except you would put your torque wrench in here so you could torque it, and then you're going to tighten it that way. And we're going to head outside. I have a vehicle that we're working on, and we're actually going to show you exactly how it works. But let me get the breaker bar and the torque wrench real quick, and I'm just going to show you how they would connect to this, and then we'll head outside and get started. Now, the first thing you need to know is this is a 3/8 fitting right here. So if you have a standard breaker bar, or right here we have our torque wrench, those are 1/2 inches. So what you're going to need is just this adapter here, and that will be able to go in and lock in. And then now we can convert that 3/8 into a 1/2, and we can put our breaker bar in here. So we bring our breaker bar in, and that's how you would connect it, like this. And then basically, if you're removing it, obviously you would go counterclockwise in order to loosen it, and then to tighten it would be clockwise. And then if we pop this off, that's how you would put in your torque wrench to torque it when you're tightening down on it. So that's how this assembly goes. You do have these nuts here on the side, and we're going to show it when we head outside. You'll tighten those down because you want to get a very good grip around that joint on the inner tie rod. So that way you have this thing nice and snug. And a lot of times that part of the inner tie rod where it connects to the steering rack, it's kind of got a little bit of a squarish pattern to it. So you can grip it really good in here, but you want that really tightened down tight. That way when you go to loosen it with the breaker bar, you have a good grip on it. All right, so now that we have this kind of gone over how to assemble it, let's head outside to the vehicle, and I'm going to show removing one, and then we'll put a new one on, and then we'll wrap this up. We'll just take a sledgehammer and give it a good whack. Pops right up. We can set that off to the side, and then now we're going to head in there. We're going to slide the boot off, even though it's ripped right here, so you can see right here. That's the inner tie rod end that we're going to be using that tie rod tool. We're going to tighten it around it, and then using a breaker bar, we're going to take it off, and then that's it. We'll put the new one in. So here's how this tool, socket, extractor, whatever you want to call it, goes. You have this piece here, the U. It wraps around. Oops. And then we're going to bring the locking end, slide it over the threads so it grabs like this. Next, we are going to, or actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do it this way. Let's do it this way. You want the input here for the breaker bar facing out. You don't want it against the strut, otherwise you're not going to have any space. So now with that in place, we're going to take the nuts, put them on here, and then we'll tighten them down real good. You want to make sure that you have a really good grip on this thing. You want it nice and tight. Take that, put this one here, and then we're going to come back with a wrench and get it real tight because you don't want it to slide. You want to have a really good grip on this thing. So I'm going to get a wrench. We're going to tighten it down, and then we'll be back to start rotating this thing so we can remove it. So we have this, that. Here's a close-up. You can see how that grabs onto the connection there. So you want it like that to fit right around that groove so you get a good grip on it. There you go. And you want these very tight. All right, so now we have this on. You can see it's nice and tight. We're going to get the breaker bar, put it in here, and then we'll be able to break it loose and turn it back to remove it. And to put the new one in, you're going to need this tool as well to tighten up the new one, and then you'll connect your torque wrench to that to torque it properly. Okay, so we'll put our breaker bar in here, and then you're going to want to turn it. There we go. There you go. So rotate it. And then once we get it loose enough, then we can take it off by hand. Now that we have it loose, we can just turn this. That'll screw right off. And then we'll get the new one ready to put it in. There we go. Okay, so we're bringing in the new inner tie rod. We don't have the replacement boot, so we're just putting this one on for now, and we'll have to replace that at a later time. But hand screw this in, and then once we tighten it, then we'll come back and put the tool, the inner tie rod tool on it, and then tighten and torque that properly. So we have our torque wrench here. We'll get it on it. And you're going to want to go until you hear it click. Okay, good. So we're at 74. We'll take this off. There we go. All right, well, that wraps up this video. Quick video, just wanted to show you how to use an inner tie rod tool. These come in handy. Sometimes people are trying to remove tie rods or put new ones on the inner tie rod and not sure how to get it off using different tools. This little thing here, they're very inexpensive. You can pick them up online. You can pick them up at automotive parts stores. I'll have some links down in the description where you can purchase them as well. Definitely something that you want to keep on hand if you do work on your own vehicles. Makes it very easy. Just connect it as we saw. Put the breaker bar, break that connection there with that joint, and you're good to go. And then when it's time to put the new one on, you can tighten it up properly and torque it. So I hope that this video was informative for you. I hope it helped you out as far as understanding with the inner tie rod, how to take it off and how to put it on and how to use this tool. For the sake of this video, the vehicle that we were working on was a 2008 Chevy Silverado 1500. If you want to know what vehicle that was, I have some links down in the description about that vehicle if that's the car or truck that you have that you're working on. But please send me any questions and comments. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.